Welcome to the MiningNewsWire Podcast, powered by IBN. This original audio production delivers market and sector insights, as well as exclusive interviews with innovative executives shaping the future in fast-moving industries, and may feature a client partner of IBN or one of the 60-plus investor-focused brands within IBN's dynamic brand portfolio. As a multifaceted financial news and publishing company, IBN leverages its extensive distribution network, utilizing multiple proprietary corporate communication tools to introduce both public and private companies to a vast and diverse audience of investors, consumers, influencers, journalists, and other targeted segments of the public. IBN may have received compensation to produce this audio content. Please be sure to read IBN's entire disclaimers for full disclosures. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the next revelatory episode of IBN's MiningNewsWire Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for another online business briefing where we shine a spotlight on some of the smartest and freshest plays out there in the market today. We are speaking to you today about Lahontan Gold Corp. The company is traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the ticker symbol LG, and here in the States on the OTCQB exchange under the ticker symbol LGCXF. I want you to follow along by visiting their website. It's beautiful, LahontanGoldCorp.com. That's LAHONTAN Goldcorp.com. Of course, you can visit us right here at the Investor Brand Network. If you click on the Clients tab, they're in alphabetical order. You will see a deep dive on Lahontan Gold. I'm going to go there right now. I want you to see the current initiatives for the company are right at the top. The investment considerations are considerable, and I'd like you to read those as well, as you will also have quick links to their website, to their newsroom. But with that, let's welcome to the show Kimberly Ann. Now, Kimberly Ann has quite a few titles. We were talking about that before the show. Kimberly, let me see if I can get this right. You are the president, the CEO, the founder, and you are a director for the company. Welcome, Kimberly, and thank you so much for making time for us.
Thanks, Stuart. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you. It was also really fun to read about your company and watch some of the recent videos of you speaking about your company. And again, everyone, just hit that press wire. You can find the press releases with links, or just go to YouTube, do a search on the company name. You can find out about this company. I'm biased. I'll tell you right now, this is going to be the best interview Kimberly's ever done. So Kimberly, with that, if you would, tell us a little bit about the foundation for the company. What are you doing there at Lahontan Gold?
We're doing something so special. I couldn't say how proud I am more than I am today, because this is my favorite company I've ever had in the history of my life, actually. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have a very extensive background in running successful businesses across the board, from hairstyling when I was a young girl to clothing companies, to alcohol businesses, to mining companies. And I'm obsessed with making companies successful. And this one is just the perfect storm of great assets and the best jurisdiction in the world, and the best timing with our new administration that's so pro-mining. Gold is finally on the critical metal list, and we have a past producer, perfect asset that I'm so excited to tell everybody about right now.
Well, let's jump into that first. I want to go into your background deeper because, as you pointed out, it is colorful and it is, well, it's lengthy, and it really shows a CEO being built along the way. And when I follow your news, I see a mine that's being built. And as you talked about, the historical on this mine is very impressive. We're talking about your Santa Fe mine there in Nevada. Give us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so the Santa Fe mine was a past producer from 1988 to 1994, open pit style, heap leach. So it's the lowest cost style of operation you can have. It's shut down from pure economics because gold was at $340. So obviously it was hard to make money, but they left a lot of gold and silver in the ground. So for us, right now we have 2 million ounces that we're reporting to the world. We obviously have a lot more internally that we're working on currently with our drill program and all of our upgrades we're doing with all our studies. But really, it's a very simple story in that we have enough to have a mine again now, and we're fast tracking it. And we started this process about 2.5 years ago because we all know permitting takes a long time. We need to do it responsibly. We're now deep in the weeds of it, and we'll be breaking ground in early 2027, if not sooner, because this administration has cut timelines down. We'll see if we can execute on a short timeline, but still it is right around the corner, and it's a low cost revamp into production. And look, yeah, my history is colorful. I'm a very competitive person. I believe in I can control my own destiny by starting my own companies and building them myself. I can always believe in that story, which is why I always do that. I've been raised that way. But mining for me was such a fantastic opportunity to get into about 15 years ago, because I have a deep understanding of marketing from my history, and I'm not emotional about it. I'm not in love with the project. I'm not thinking of anything but making money and making the company successful, whether it's me building this asset out and turning this into a mid-tier producing company, having a great exit strategy for my shareholders of selling it for a lot of money. It doesn't matter to me. It's really about making money. And I think a lot of CEOs that are technical background in the mining space get too in love with their projects and they forget what we're all doing in this business. And so for me, I have a unique perspective in that, yes, I understand the geology. Yes, I understand the engineering background of all that, but I also, more importantly, understand the business and how to get to the finish line. And when I started in this industry, one of the companies that, if you know mining, one of the great stories of a company called Prodigy Gold, we took it from an 18 million market cap and sold it for $340 million in just 25 months. And that is a fantastic story. And it's now in production, great company. But of course, Kimberly gets bored easily. So I went and shifted to the debt side and worked for a $5 billion debt fund and learned that side of the business. So when I'm preparing our company to build this or to finance it, all of the entire package together, getting to find $100 whole million to build this makes me giddy, because that's just like the fun part for me. So it's a really exciting time for the company. And we're trading well, we have good liquidity. We're moving forward very quickly right now. And look, gold is going through the roof, and frankly, so is silver. And we have both.
Well, that's important, and I appreciate you pointing that out about gold and silver both, and the fact that you have both, but also you just said something that's really important, Kimberly. You talked about being giddy about finding these millions of dollars to get this project going. That's what gives other CEOs ulcers. So you truly are wired differently, and I appreciate that about you. So let's talk a little bit about what made you who you are today. You've talked about some of your other ventures that you've had, and those are important on bringing you along and growing you, whether they've been in mining or not, especially working for a debt fund. I mean, you are kind of the quintessential small cap, micro cap, public company CEO at this point, the right person at the right time. And as you pointed out with this new administration, in the right market at the right time. So let's learn about you, but also I'm at your website, again, LahontanGoldCorp.com. I'm looking at the team around you. It's impressive. So let's talk about both.
Yeah, so the team, look, I believe when you're building a team, you want to strategically get a lot of professionals on your file, but you can pay through the nose to have all these different full-time positions on and big salaries, and it just bleeds you dry, and you're not really spending the money where you need to. So as far as like the technical team that works for me right now, they're all on a consultant basis, because I can control the spending, and we can maneuver differently versus having a COO that I'm like, I really don't need this person. So the team on the technical and permitting side is massive, but affordable because we can control the spend. We just revamped our entire board because the board we had before, great board, but it was more an exploration style company. And now we've put together a fantastic team. 2 of our board members are mine builders. They're building mines right now. They have the production experience. I have production experience in putting mines in production in Peru in a private company. But, I want people on my team that essentially are free to me, board members, that know how to get that done. And then the other 2 are more capital markets savvy like myself. So I think it's a well-rounded board, and we'll continue to ramp up from there. And the question of where I came from, well, my whole family has always had successful businesses that we started manufacturing. My brother actually runs the family business, and it's a very successful operation. It wasn't my calling, but it was just embedded in me that if you're working for someone else, you're just not doing your job as your mission in life coming from this family. is to start companies, provide jobs for other people, and build from there. And we do build our companies differently. Our companies we have had in Peru in the past, we take our teams once my last company we sold for a fantastic 18-fold private company, Copper Gold, that we had for 24 months. But in my contracts, when I sold the company, they had to keep my entire team for 24 months. So they all had jobs, because who goes first? It's always the whole staff. They want their own people in, and I want them to have jobs when I'm gone and create, opportunity for them. And I always give founder shares when I can to those people, which I think a lot of people think I'm crazy for that. But when you're forming your own companies, you can choose to make the whole team successful with you. And I think even down to my driver, I gave founder shares to one of my last companies. And I would say to the whole team, like, we win together or we lose together. It's as simple as that. It takes a village for everything in life. So I feel very strongly about that. I take my teams with me, every company I have. And that's why we've been so successful, because they know I'm going to take care of them. And I think that's really important.
Well, it is important, and it's great leadership, and kudos to you for having that as your mantra and mission for your team. So you've been with the Investor Brand Network for about 30 days. I'm looking at the press.
I'm new.
I want to say, to be honest with you, looking at the news coming into this, as I said, everything's just kind of on this rise. It's a nice building pattern. I'm looking at a press release 25 days ago, Lahontan mobilizes drill rig to Santa Fe. Then you've got your BLM approval for additional Santa Fe drilling. Then you've got Lahontan begins metallurgical test work at Santa Fe just this week. So you're accomplishing a lot when a lot of other people are on their beach vacations, Kimberly. Tell us a little bit about some of the recent news and the achievements for your entire company, whether it's Santa Fe or not. It could be on the corporate side here in 2025.
Yeah, okay, so that's a great question. And yes, we have had a lot of news flow coming out. I don't believe in taking vacations this time of year because everyone else is, and that's my time to really conquer the world. But look, the drilling we just did was very important for us. It was a small drill program, 1,800 meters, but it was focused in 3 key areas that we're testing to add more ounces, bring down our shells, or our pit shells, et cetera. It's just amping up the game of what we need to know for our mine permit moving forward. And then once we get those results back, we'll do another round of drilling in the fall. So that's what that plan was about. The metallurgy work, look, there's a lot of new opportunities to process differently when you get to the sulfides and your transitional rock. And we're seeing companies take rock and basically get it from 40 to 50% recoveries up to 85, 90%. So we have sent rock off to a couple of different groups that are testing that procedure to see if our rock can do that on a large scale. And if it can, then it's like life altering for our company, because what we're going to be, what we've reported to the public is an 8-year mine life right now, mining our oxides. The sulfides is a different process. But if this type of technology works, then we could essentially turn those sulfides into oxides. So we're working with partners, across the globe, actually testing this product to see, hey, can we be in front of this as one of the biggest test projects out there for turning that over to something spectacular in oxide land. So, look, if it doesn't work, it's no skin off our back. It's not costing us anything, but it's getting more information about what we have. So just updating everything. And, these are all breadcrumbs to the finish line for us that I'm trickling out to the world to understand every step of the way. I do believe more communication is better, which is why you probably see videos of me out in the field with my hair in pigtails and playing at the drill rig, because that's where I love to be, to actually see it in action. So that's what's happening on that. On a corporate front, if you're going to my chart, this is a really important thing to understand. It goes down at December to 2 cents and Canadian. And you look at that and you go, what the heck happened here? Well, what happened here is one of our largest shareholders had 30% position in our company, had a mine themselves and had a major failure at their mine and went into receivership. PwC took over it. And that ownership, we got stuck in the middle of that mess and couldn't move that block of shares to our fantastic shareholders. So we were in purgatory for 9 months on that. But that being said, we finally successfully got that moved out in December to our largest shareholders. And we have a fantastic base of 52% of our shareholders are fantastic. They're not mining companies, they're funds, myself, big groups that want to see us build this, and there's less risk with these groups. So very proud to get that moved because it was not easy to do. And you can see our chart has gone straight up since then. So from now till going into production, there's such a runway for people to get in now while it's inexpensive and make a hell of a lot of money before we even get to production, because there's so much happening and everything that we're putting out is positive news, just checking another thing off the list, right? So.
Well, and I think that's a great crescendo right there to tell people once again, visit us here at the Investor Brand Network, hit those investment considerations, learn about the gold market, learn about the administration, learn about the headwinds that have now become tailwinds for companies like Lahontan Gold. And I want you also to check out the Mining Newswire, which is a weekly newswire newsletter that you can also follow on Twitter directly. And you can find companies like Lahontan Gold there. So Kimberly, as we look at 2025, the back half, if you will, coming up the next 6 to 9 months, what are some of your operational goals? What would you like to see happen with the company and some of your projects?
Yeah, so by the end of the year, we will have successfully drilled 2 of our projects more. So Santa Fe will drill more. And then West Santa Fe is a fairly new project for the world to know about. So we're going to do a round of drilling there and start introducing that to the market, because it's a significant part of the story in that it's only 13 kilometers away. It's a lookalike to Santa Fe. It's a beautiful project that we know that once we permit it towards mining, that it's a great bolt-on. And we don't even have to find millions and millions of ounces there, because even if we find 300 to 500,000 ounces there, it's significant because we can literally process it over at Santa Fe. So it's the lowest cost operation you can even imagine. And you're trucking 13 kilometers. So it's a beautiful project. So we're introducing that in October when we get the drill rig back out. And then Q1 of next year, we'll be focused on putting out what we've done, how much did we find, and putting out an updated preliminary economic assessment, showing the numbers, which are really exciting numbers that I wish I could share now, but I can't, that just keep getting better and better. And then next June, like right now, I get to start thinking about who we're going to work with on the raise for the $100 million. And people always say, well, oh my gosh, how are you going to do that when your market cap is X? Well, non-dilutive dollars, debt, our payback is very short for the mine right now. And I think it's going to be showing even shorter timeline this next study. But look, it's very low risk from a debt standpoint, because it's been in mind when you're looking at from a debt facility side, they'll build their own models on the risk tolerance for them, but the risk is so low, it's ridiculous, because cash costs are only $12.30 right now an ounce, which is right up there with the big dogs, Kinross and Nevada Gold Mine Group. Like it's just, they're really good numbers. You're going to be printing money, right? Because look at the gold and silver price, and gold is now on the critical metal list, which gets me so excited, because it should have been on the critical metal list, in my opinion, a long time ago. But now it is, and it opens up all the funds that are green funds that can't invest in gold, that are now wishing now they can, and they were wishing they could, because they didn't see gold going through the roof so quick. So that makes me really excited, because there's lots of groups that I've wanted to work with that I couldn't before because of that. So it opens up a lot of doors. So we're really busy, as you can tell, and everything coming out is just exciting. And you're going to see us continue to, next year, I probably will hire a COO, because we'll need one. But for now, we're going steady.
Keeping that low burn rate. I like it. Utilizing consultants, utilizing independent contractors. I'm a CFO by trade. So 25 years ago, before I started doing this, you would have made me very happy as your CFO because I could do quarterly reports that didn't have my phone ringing off the hook. Once again, we are speaking with Kimberly Ann. She is the founder, CEO, director, and president of Lahontan Gold Corp. Lahontan Gold Corp is traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the ticker symbol LG and on the OTCQB exchange under the ticker symbol LGCXF. LahontanGoldCorp.com. That's the website. Of course, just visit us at the MiningNewsWire to learn more about this company, as well as our clients page at Investor Brand Network. You said a couple of great things in that last segment. You talked about, I wish I could tell you now about those numbers, but you're going to have to wait. Well, viewers, listeners, you won't have to wait too long, because as soon as those numbers hit, we will have Kimberly Ann right back here talking to us about the drivers behind those numbers and what those numbers mean for the foundation moving forward into 2026 and 2027 as well. Kimberly, wonderful to meet you and speak with you for the very first time. I look forward to more great interviews with you in the future.
Thanks so much, Stuart.
All right, for Kimberly Ann, this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for us here at the Investor Brand Network.
The MiningNewsWire Podcast is an original content production powered by IBN, a multifaceted financial news and publishing company that delivers next-generation corporate communication solutions. Utilizing proprietary corporate communication tools such as news aggregation and syndication, social communication, and brand awareness techniques, among others, IBN introduces both public and private companies to diverse audiences to enhance reach and recognition. IBN may receive compensation for services and solutions provided to its client partners. You should assume that the owners, officers, and directors of IBN or financial analysts mentioned in this production may hold a position in and may intend to trade the securities in their own accounts. This production is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that may be mentioned in this production. The information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be or should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, investment in the featured companies carries inherent investment risk. Listeners should review the companies thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This production by IBN is not purported to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used in statements of fact have been obtained from featured companies and other sources, but not verified nor guaranteed by IBN as to completeness and accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please see IBN's full disclaimers and disclosures at www.ibn.fm/disclaimer. Music in this episode is by Infraction. For more, visit inaudio.org.